Boom, boom, boom. NeetCode in my room. I'm doing this for fun. No, it's so I can get a job. Okay, we're on to the next one. To sum. And it's gonna be too easy. We're gonna go to Python. This is my third one in a row. Oh, snap. You weren't supposed to see that. I'm gonna look at the solution anyway to teach you. We'll get to it. Where is it? Okay, we're here. And we have our question. So let's take a look. We have our class solution, as always, our definition of toSum, of self to call the instance class, nums, and target. What is nums and target? Oh, let's look. Given an array of integers nums and a target integer target, we want to return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. You can return the answer in any order. Okay, I just read this and I have no idea what I just looked at. So what I'm going to do is try to break it down for myself. And also I'm a little bit fatigued. You might say that we're emulating the interviewing experience minus not having a shirt on. But the fatigue that you will feel answering these questions about your life, about these questions, about coding, about your passion for solving the world's problems, because that's exactly what you need to say to get a job. So this is what we're going to do. Actually, I am passionate about solving the world's problems, but I'm being facetious. I'm flexing my vocabulary. Given an array of integers nums and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such they add up to target. So we have an array of integers. Yes! I understand it! We have an array of integers, which is a list of numbers, basically. And we have a target. And we're looking for two numbers. Let's make some comments for the first time. Look for two numbers. So they add up to target. Also, keyboard shortcut hint, use control arrow key and you skip the entire word at a time. You'll save so much time. So we have look for two numbers so they add up to target. Also, what is my face? Okay. We're doing good. Let me shrink my face down and move my thing up so it doesn't look like... Okay. We have our two numbers and we're returning the indices of the two numbers. We may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and I may not use the same element twice. So it's giving hash map. It's giving dictionary. It's giving it's not giving array to loop through because that would be brute force, which we obviously could do, but there are more efficient solutions. We want an O log of n something. I didn't do it in the last one, but I will do it in this one. We have our two targets, our two given variables that we're assuming each input has one solution. So there's only two numbers that we can look at in this given nums array such that they'll add up to the target. And we may not use the same element twice, which means that there are no duplicates in the nums array. So we can safely say we can use a hash set or a hash map. And let's go with our assumptions as we get into the examples 1, 2, and 3 with our expected outputs given the inputs and an explanation with example 1. So we have our nums array 2, 7, 11, 15 with a target of 9. So our output will give the indices of the nums array as we're looking for here because num0 and nums1 equals 9. because 0, this is index 0 of the array. It's the very first, which is 0. And then the second, which is 1, we have 2 and 7 to equal the target of 9. So somehow we have to figure out what will add up to 9. And we can brute force it, like I said, looping through each one to get to 9, but we don't want to do that. So we have input here, input 2, 3, 2, and 4, a target of 6. And like this, we have 2 and 4, which is outputs 1 and 2. And then we have input of this, 3 and 3, and we get a target of 6, where we have an output of 0 and 1. Now, I have some idea on how to solve this, but I really don't have any idea. So I'm going to look at the solution and try to teach you from what I find. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create a function, and we are going to create what is a hash map. Yes, or a hash set. We can say hash set equals set nums. Right? Is that real? Is that right? Is that valid? Or no, or it's empty. Or is that right? Is that what we want? I think that'd be okay. Oh, wait. This won't work. Hash set won't work because there are duplicate values here. So it has to be a dictionary, I believe. Yeah, a dictionary there. Hash set uses this for initialization, but it's a dictionary because I believe it's a dictionary because we have duplicates. So then from here, we're going to look through all of the values of nums as if they were indices. Or we're going to try to cycle through every value of nums as if they were indices. So we have a for loop that we can look at, looking at every value in nums, and we have n because we want to actually enumerate the values in nums. So I gives the actual variable of the index of nums, and n gives the enumerated value, like the count of what we're at given I of each variable in nums. So we loop through and we get two values, the variable itself, and if it is at the 0th instance of the array, or the second, third, fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4 instance of the order it is in the array. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the difference between the target, which is what we want to add up to, and n. So we're kind of reverse engineering how we're solving the question. So we start with like the endpoint of target, and we're looking for the difference given the value that we're on in the moment of the loop, the current loop value. So what we're going to do is we're going to check. Oh, wow, that's actually genius. We're going to check if this difference exists in the previous, in this hash set. And the way we do that is by checking if this difference, this value, is in hash set. Or I should just rename this as num dict. Or I guess that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Coding practice, because usually you don't want like a variable name or variable type as the variable. It should be self-explanatory based on the name. So we could say number set, or we could say nums list. It's not a list. It's hard to say here what to name the variable. What I'll figure that. Let's figure that out real quick. Nums variable, nums var, maybe not nums list, but nums work, maybe, because we're doing work on it. Or we could say nums map. We'll say nums map. Good enough. So if our difference is in nums map, then we know that the target will equal the difference plus the n that we're on. And I believe, I just need to double check this for loop. So if I is actually the variable, or if it is the iteration of the iteration number of what is nums. So I and n are loop variables that represent the index and the element respectively. So this is the index and this is the element. So I had it mixed up. So when we're looking at this, we have n as the element, which makes more sense because we're trying to add the given element that we're on plus the difference to get the target. So then if this difference is in the nums map, then we can return those two indices, which is nums map of the instance of difference and the current iteration of nums. So we have our first and second iteration like that. But if it's not, if this difference is not in nums map, then we're going to want to set that instance of nums map of n, that key value pair, to I. Does that make sense? Kind of. In a previous example, we looked at nums map n equals I in the context that we're adding a value to this key value pair as it were a dictionary. So we have an count instance of how many times a value occurred in a array or in a string. But in this case, we are assigning the key value pair of the value to where it exists in the nums array. So we have nums map of n, which is a key value pair, equals I, to return the, or not return, but to add the value of n, the element of n, to nums map. And what is actually happening here is we are assigning the location value of nums within nums map, so that when we go through to the next value of nums, we are able to tell if the difference equals the target minus n. So that as we loop through over and over again through each value of this array as it's given in the method definition, we can eventually see if the numbers add up to target. And this is always assuming that they add up to target, so that there will always be one solution. If there was never a solution, like, this would loop through, we could have a return statement, false or whatever, and it would say that there would be no numbers that add up to target. But in this case, we don't have to say that because of how the question is framed. So let's Steph Curry 3-point shot this, then walk away without looking, and we will have a great time. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.